Investigators say surveillance video, witnesses, and a single fingerprint led them to their suspect. Lamont Johnson Jr. is accused of shooting and killing a man as he sat in his car back in August. That was nearly a year ago, and now the U.S. Marshals Service needs your help tracking him down.
This is a gunshot.
3-3, what's wrong?
Gunshot, man.
I'm Chad, where are you?
I'm on in McHenry.
I want to McHenry.
You're number one,
Where on the body was he shot?
He got shot on his left side in the driver's seat. Come here, medic.
Taiwan Wilson is pronounced dead at Maryland shock trauma. Taiwan was 22 years old and leaves behind his parents and several siblings. Back at the scene, homicide detectives are just beginning their investigation. Wilson had been shot multiple times while sitting in the driver's seat of his car parked here on South Calhoun Street. Witnesses reported a red Mercedes fleeing the area. A bolo is put out.
4324, information from person on scene, red Mercedes.
Wait down by a citizen. He said it's a red Mercedes.
The U.S. Marshals Service and Baltimore City Police Department are now actively searching for this individual.
Homicide detectives begin collecting evidence and talking with witnesses.
The male victim had been shot several times. They recovered 7 shell casings, an extended magazine, and ultimately lifted a fingerprint from the scene.
That fingerprint, investigators say, is lifted from the outside of Wilson's car. Nearby are the 7 shell casings and a loaded extended magazine, as well as a surveillance camera.
Law enforcement canvassed the area, and they were ultimately able to recover surveillance video of the incident.
The evidence and witness statements enough for detectives to name a suspect.
Facts gathered during the investigation revealed that Lamont B Johnson was the prime suspect in this shooting.
Any idea what prompted this shooting, what this was about?
So in this case, there's limited facts. Anytime that there's violence, you have to wonder what the underlying conduct was. In this case, we don't want to speculate. We just want to make sure we do everything we can to get this violent individual off the streets.
But that has proved difficult. Johnson has been on the run for nearly a year. The U.S. Marshals Service now joining the search.
They're ultimately either going to have help from family or friends, and so we're hoping that somebody sees this broadcast, realizes that this individual puts themselves at danger by being on the run, and contacts law enforcement so we can bring this offender into custody safely.
Johnson has a lengthy criminal history that dates back to when he was 18, as far as the public eye can see. Online court records show he was arrested in 2005 on 2 misdemeanor drug charges, and the next year was sentenced to a 1.5 years in prison for a felony carjacking conviction. In 2009, Johnson had 2 more misdemeanor arrests for trespassing and assault, and in 2018 was sentenced to 2 years in prison plus 3 years probation for being a felon in possession of a gun. His trouble not confined to the city. In 2021, records showed Johnson was arrested in Anne Arundel County for drug possession with intent to distribute, and the next year sentenced to 20 years in prison. The judge suspending all but 28 days of that sentence. Less than a 1.5 years later, Johnson is accused of gunning down Wilson as he sat in his car in Baltimore.
Anytime you have an offender that takes another individual's life, it literally has grave consequences.
Johnson is now wanted in 2 jurisdictions, in Anne Arundel County for violating his probation, and in Baltimore City for the murder of Taiwan Wilson.
We believe that the criminal conduct may continue if he's on the street.
Take a good look. Johnson stands at about 5'6" and weighs approximately 145 pounds. Investigators warn he is known to have violent tendencies. If you have any information regarding his whereabouts, you're asked to contact the U.S. Marshals Service. The number right here, 202-819-5058. Update, just 1 day after appearing on Maryland's Most Wanted, the suspect who investigators say stabbed a man and then left him to die has been captured. Investigators say Tyrone Price was taken into custody in Hagerstown, Maryland. According to the U.S. Marshals Service, a viewer recognized Price in a medical facility and contacted the agency. He was arrested a short time later. Price was wanted for the stabbing of a man in Baltimore City, as well as other crimes in Harford County. Earlier this week, he appeared in court and was denied bond. The The U.S. Marshals Service on the tip.
They contacted me immediately. They've said that this individual was at a treatment facility in Hagerstown, Maryland. I was able to relay that information to the case detective, who took quick action on it, and ultimately, by working with local officers in Maryland State Police, we were able to get this offender off the street and take him into custody.
If you recognize any of our fugitives, remember, you can always remain anonymous, and you could earn a reward. I'm Alexa Ashwell, and this is Maryland's Most Wanted. Thanks for watching. I'm Alexa Ashwell. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment and subscribe to our channel.